Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Let me see. Miss Live Your Life, Eugene. All right, let's get it popping, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. What up, Chuck? What up, Lawrence? What up, Will? What up, Shiesty? It's whatever, man. Salute. Let's get it popping. Trill, man, I'm excited that you're here, man. I see the grind, you know. I'm slightly new to YouTube, but when you used to do the panels and things of that nature, I used to get confused. I'm like, because you used to say, we got to pay these bills. I'm like, what the fuck you about to? And then you read the super chats. I'm like, okay. So I just admire the grind and all that,
I appreciate that, G. Real rough.
Indeed. So in terms of your YouTube journey, first and foremost, I think that football makes sense for every single scenario. You can make an analogy for football as it equates to life in almost 99% of things. What do you think about that?
I agree 100%. So I think football teach most men who play how to beat men in terms of discipline and, structure and shit like that. So, hell yeah, you can make plenty of analogies with it.
I told them.
Shit like that.
So they
ain't
believe me, but I think if you say it, they'll believe it. You know what I mean?
Look, hope so.
Look at Remy. She already shaking her head. Damn, man. So in terms of YouTube, I'm learning so much about these different pills. I heard there's a red pill. I know that one. There's a blue, a black, all these pills.
Shit, here we go.
So I said, let me ask Trill, you know what I mean? Because Trill, I'm 38. I feel like we around the same age, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm 34.
Right? So, where do you think you fall if you had to bite into one of them pills? Pause.
Shit, neither one of them. I think that's kind of been something I've been real hard on, bro. Like they always be trying to categorize you based on maybe a sound clip or based on your opinion on a given topic. I don't lean one way or the other. I always say I'm a truth teller. So whoever the truth make look bad is who it make look bad. I think that red pill, blue pill shit work kind of like Republicans and Democrats for real. We're gonna keep it honest. You got both sides is not willing to bend on what it is that they do wrong. But when somebody else from the other side do something wrong, they jump all down their throat. Or when when somebody that's on their side do some wrong shit, we just gonna act like we don't see it or we ain't gonna speak on it. And that ain't my thing. So given the subject, I'm gonna tell the blunt, honest truth. If that make men look bad, then that make us look bad. If that make women look bad, then that make them look bad. But I'm gonna come down with the same hammer on both.
Indeed. I like that. Do you think that oftentimes when people subscribe to a certain ideology, that makes them blind to its faults?
Definitely. Because I think most people come and subscribe to those ideologies because they lacking when it comes to something in their life and they're looking more for a support group. So, I mean, I understand the psychology of it. I just couldn't subscribe to it because I didn't come into it under those kind of terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like a lot of red pill guys come into that like when they done went through a heartbreak or when they done went through some, a negative experience with a woman. So they coming in looking for a support group as to try to climb back and, do whatever it may be. A lot of blue pill guys may be trying to, cater to the women a lot and try to do what they got to do to get the women because they struggle to do it in their regular lives. See, again, these are problems that I never really had. So it's kind of hard for me to subscribe too hard either way. But I mean, again, I understand the psychology. To me, it's kind of like religion. It's like I understand the hustle, but I just can't be hustled by it. So that was always my take.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Do you think if we had to speculate, right? Because that's what we do. We can't talk to every single man. Do you think the majority who subscribe to a particular pill are coming from a place of trauma? And it's an assumption, right? It's a legend,
Yeah, definitely, man. I think, the more trauma you have in your past, the less likely you're going to be to be neutral. It's just like anything else. If somebody hurt me, I'm going to lean on the side that I feel like can build me back up. That's just human nature. That's why I say I understand the psychology behind it. I just can't subscribe to it because I feel like when you blindly subscribe to something like that, or when you're just looking for something to build you up, then you being blind to other shit that could possibly help you once you get into these relationships and things of that nature. That's one thing that I be seeing. A lot of these people be giving a lot of advice and then reading and digesting a lot of information And then when you get to the common goal that you're looking for, which is to find somebody you love or find somebody to take care of or whatever the case may be, they struggle when it comes to actually doing that aspect and maintaining a relationship. So again, and I feel like part of that is because of how blind that you are to the other side when you subscribe heavily to shit like that.
Okay, that makes
Shit like that. Shit like
you
that.
can
Shit
reach
like
a
that.
level of
Shit like that.
toxicity,
Shit
right?
like that.
Too much of anything, right? You know, I've heard of people drowning themselves drinking too much water. You know, too much of anything, overdoing something, right? Gluttony is toxic, right? So that makes a lot of sense, man.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
In
Shit like
terms
that.
of,
Shit like
you
that.
said
Shit
you
like
don't
that.
have a lot of these experiences, right? We were having a conversation. I'll tell you, the subject matter was bodies, right? So they were telling me, somebody said 40 bodies was a lot, right, Trill? And I'm like, no, it's not. You know? And they were like, yes, it is, Hamp. The average man has 8 bodies. They said, Hamp, shut up. I play football. I'm a Q. I DJ. I don't know. I can't see it, right? I didn't live it. So it's almost like my opinion gets slightly invalidated, you know, to an extent. Did it hurt my feelings? No, but I felt some type of way, like and I shut up too. They enough of my brothers tell me to shut up, I shut up. You know what I mean? But have you had that experience?
Definitely, man. Like again, when you kind of privileged in that aspect, it's kind of hard to see shit. It's just like somebody that come from money and somebody broke trying to explain to them how lucky they are and they don't have no problems and this, that, and the third. And it's just like, yeah, I don't have your problems, but I still got problems. You know what I'm saying? But you can't identify with broke people problems because you've never been broke. You know what I'm saying? So it took a lot of people, you know, that support us and stuff to kind of pull me to the side. Like, bro, I hear what you're saying, but this is my experience and this is what I went through. And, you know, enough guys say that and then you be like, all right, well, damn, maybe there's some truth to it. Then you start reading the stats, is 30+% of men is virgins and this, that, and the third. And it's just like, oh shit, okay, no, this is really a thing. So it's like, okay, now I gotta approach it from a different angle and not be so just matter of fact. Nah, this is gonna work if you do this. Yeah, it may work for me.
Yeah.
But what works for me may not work for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
100%. I think that word empathy comes to mind, you know?
Right.
Can you expound on the situations where they pulled you aside, like, yo, bro, XYZ, like anything like superficial, nothing too deep, but you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, just right out the gate, one of my good homeboys, one time, you know, he always struggled with this one chick that I've been trying to tell him, hey, bro, she not right for you for years. She playing with you, she toying with you, you know. But he one of them guys that is kind of insecure in himself, but you know, you make a good amount of money. So he kind of used that to supplement what he don't have on the personality side, on the social side, whatever the case may be. But then he wondered why the women use him for his money. And I'd be like, bro, she gonna, like, that's what you advertise because you hadn't took the time to develop other aspects of you, or you don't sell her the other aspects of you. You actually a cool dude. Like, you chill, you fun to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to express that, get that across to her. And then she gonna be more willing to, you know what I'm saying, date you for you. But if you leading with money and all of that stuff, then, you know, you're gonna end up with what you get. But he looked at me and was like, bro, I hear you. But a lot of time, like, you kind of privileged in that aspect because a lot of women won't even open the door for me to show them my personality and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done been trying to find a new girl, but it's not as easy as you think. Plus, I'm already invested here and this, that, and third. And I'm thinking, bro, like, you can leave that relationship and find a woman in 2 weeks if you wanted to. And he's like, no, you can leave a relationship and find a woman in 2 weeks. That's because women is throwing it at you 24/7. They're not throwing it at me like that, bro. So I got to go out there and really, like, it's going to take a while, you know what I'm saying, if I can at all. And I'm like, damn, this is my boy saying this. He grew up in, you know, on my block and
around the way,
we grew up under the same circumstance. So you just automatically think anybody from that environment, like, we going to think alike. Like, but again, his experience has been a lot different than mine. So I got to thinking back, even when we was younger. I mean, of course, like, the women always, you know, came to me or whatever, this, that, and the third, but I didn't realize how much, like, that type of thing affected him, or like how much that type of thing scarred him, you know what I'm saying, in terms of him not being chose or whatever the case may be. So it took that conversation for me to really sit back and be like, damn, maybe I am privileged somewhat, you know what I mean? Because again, like, you be thinking that, like, all men have access to women. But in my head back then, I would think, okay, yeah, if you a certain type of guy, you got access to a different tier of women, sure. But everybody should have access to women. Yours just may look a little, you know what I mean, less than what the millionaire or the star athlete, you know what I'm saying, bring it in or whatever, and that's fine. That's your range. You shoot it within your range. But then you got guys saying even the women in my range don't want me. They aspire to have you anyway, even though they are in my range. And it's just like, damn, there's some truth to that.
I'm actually glad.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Glad that you gave that example because it conjured 3 different questions in my head that are completely relevant. You know, the first being, the men's value. Seemingly, the sentiment is often equates to their pockets. You know, is that the men doing it or the women doing it to them, to us?
Both, to be honest, evenly.
You think like 50-50 legitimately, or you think it leans more on how we see ourselves?
Yeah, man, I think it's like 50-50 because it's definitely how we see ourselves, but also everybody want to be accepted by the other gender. And a lot of times, if you don't have money and you're not attractive, like immediately to the eye, you know what I'm saying, then it's going to be harder for you. You see what I'm saying? But I don't feel like as a man, money is absolutely necessary because I know a lot of broke niggas who just are hilarious or who have great personalities or who are handsome, but they broke as hell. But he stay with a chick and stay with a bad one. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's like if you don't have those other traits, then a lot of times you getting looked over. You know what I'm saying? In the process of you attaining your money, and then those guys like thought process are kind of stamped because when they get the money, now they all of a sudden have access to those women. But again, I think both of us play a role in that. Men is hard on broke men. You know what I mean? Like we be getting money and start flexing on dudes the same way we do on women. You broke ass nigga like that. That's probably one of the most, you know what I'm saying, insulting things that you can say to a man. Like is that you broke, you don't get no women. You short, you know what I'm saying? Those 3 right there can result in violence. You know what 100%. I'm saying? So again, I think it's kind of both sides that cater to that mindset.
100%. And Trill, you know, I say this not all the time, but enough where the things that we don't want to be reduced to, our money, women, their vaginas, are also the 2 things that we insult with first. Broke ass nigga, stink pussy bitch, right? Those 2 things, right? Those things, when women start arguing, when men start arguing, her vagina isn't well taken care of, and this man is deficient in funds. Those are the 2 things that come up. Why is that, right? When we say we shouldn't be reduced to these things, however, those are our first insults.
Because that shit right there just cut deeper than anything else. Men are super vulnerable about our money because a lot of times we feel like that's our big joker. So if somebody calling you broke, then that means I ain't got no big joker to play, and I'm not gonna have access to it. And with women, it's the other way around. Their vagina is their currency. Let's just keep it real here.
Yeah.
When men are choosing women, if you are not beautiful, you will not be chosen. Or you will, let me rephrase, the likelihood of you being chosen by the guy that you want. Key emphasis on the guy that you want. Is extremely low if you are not beautiful. And you got a dopest personality, you can be funny, you can be all of that, but it's the sex appeal that draws a man in. That's your big joker. So if we telling you your sex is trash or you stink like a motherfucker, like that shit cuts deeper than anything else that you can say to him, unfortunately.
No, real shit.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Like this, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Interestingly, we had that conversation often, Trill, regarding, you know, the people within your range, right? You know, the argument for the gentleman who may not have as much access is the fact that the women indeed have a level of delusion, right? Because they get several dopamine hits if they put their ass on the sink and take a picture on Instagram, you know? And now it's not just around your block, like we talking about your brother earlier. You know, now with Instagram and social media, they got access to men all over the world that are in their DMs and liking their pictures and etc. Do you think the men have deficiencies in terms of approaching women? Because I've alleged that men ain't shooting a shot anymore. Or do you think the women have now their mindset changed so much to where the men that they should be with, they don't see them anymore?
I definitely think it's more that that last one you said. Because again, a lot of women equate sexual interest to actual interest. So when they around these guys that with the blue checks and the athletes and the rappers or even just the lit dude within the city, if he's willing to give her sexual attention, she feels like this is my new marketplace. When in reality, it's not. I'm just using you for again what I feel like your value is to me is gonna go no further than that. But once you have that sex with her, or once you put that type of effort into her to attain the sex, and her mind is shifted now. Like hell nah, I don't. I'm getting sexual attention from somebody with a blue check. Why would I go date dude who work at the warehouse 12 hours a day? You know what I'm saying? Even though the dude with the warehouse could probably make you as happy as a motherfucker, and you're gonna forever be that dude with the blue check option. He ain't gonna never take you serious in that way. He's gonna have sex with you, but he's never gonna take you serious. But in her mind, because he's showing me sexual interest, that means actual interest. And that kind of messes up the field. You know what I'm saying? Because you would have some guys, that same guy that work at the warehouse, he could be a great dude. He could approach it the right way and everything. Like, hey, baby, I think you're gorgeous. I would love to take you out. I would love to get to know you. But again, it's kind of hard to go from conversating and getting invited to private parties, or maybe just having access to this guy that has money or fame or attention or litness around the city, to go be with a quote unquote nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality of the situation most times. But I also think that a lot of men unfortunately shoot at the loud minority in that case, because I feel like that type of woman is the loud minority in terms of the one who what I call blue check chasing.
Okay.
I think like a lot of women, most women in my opinion, are not blue check chasing. Most women are regular. They going to work, they doing their 1-2 step, they gonna date people within their friend group, somebody that they met at the kickback, somebody they met at the function, somebody that my homegirl linked me with, or whatever. But most girls are not even getting invited to the James Harden private party in the city, more so chasing that type of guy. But the same way that we accuse women of being delusional, women of being delusional. A lot of men are delusional in that aspect. We want to take that type of woman who blue check chasing and make her a housewife, and she should never be that. She is an opportunist. So because she could be with this blue check right now, but a blue check come that got make $10 more million a year, she on to the next thing. But we aspire still to be with that woman because of how she looks. So again, it's kind of like we missed each other, sadly.
Word. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So, you have some of the OGs that be up here, right? And I think, even the millennials, I think we have similarities in thought in terms of Gen X, right? I know when we were outside, we were parking lot pimp. You chase, you get 20 numbers, you get, you chase, you talk to 20 women, you get 3 numbers, you feeling good. Your wingman was your wingman. Even if she a grenade, he'll still do it for the hood. You know what I mean? Now you own one. And now the brothers are like, you know what I'm saying?
What you talking about, bro? They don't know about that, man.
we can't tell all the secrets, sure, but the stuff that we used to do is definitely different now with the influx of social media. There's things like the Me Too movement as an example. But the older brothers be like, yo, y'all just scared. You ain't getting dressed up. You ain't outside talking to women. But the brothers now are like, no, you got to be a sniper. You can't just have a machine gun out there like you guys used to because of the climate, But I have a hard time. I'm thinking like, bro, I think it's fear. Where do you think the reason why they don't approach the women? Is it all these worries, or is it just simply fear?
And proper preparation prevents poor performance. But unfortunately, a lot of them don't have a lot of preparation and a lot of practice walking up to a woman in person and expressing their interest to it. We in the social media era where dudes be feeling like, okay, if I, leave hard eyes on your story 2 or 3 times, that's their way of shooting a shot. But you put that same dude, he may shoot at 100 women like that. You know what I'm saying? But you put that same dude in a room full of attractive women and he'll cower in a corner because he don't know what to say. I've literally seen it. Like we done had back in the day when I was real active in this space, man. I salute to JR Lapeef. We used to have, events and live shows and stuff like that. And I see a lot of guys at these shows. Like we had one in Houston, as a matter of fact.
Word.
And it's like a lot of attractive women. in the room, and these same alpha, red pill, this, that, and the third guys get in that room and fold because they don't know how to handle, they don't know how to hold that conversation and be, charismatic in person and be able to look a woman in her eyes and tell her, hey, baby, I think you're gorgeous, and like that, because they hadn't had practice in doing it. A lot of times, I think we the last generation of that, if we're gonna be honest. That actually used to write down phone numbers on paper, and what I'm saying, or write down numbers on your hand when you didn't have paper. We the last generation to do that, but because of that, we got the practice in to where now, we kind of numb to rejection somewhat. So it's like, boom, all she can say is no. Like if you ask any OG, he gonna tell you that all she can say is no.
Yeah.
But again, if you ain't been in the field, you ain't been outside, that shit seems terrifying.
Yeah. No, damn. This when you was talking, this what I thinking when you said you in those rooms and the gentlemen who have that bravado on the internet, but then they start to cower.
This nigga's scared.
Real right.
Like that's all I can see. So, they push me around on that point. They're like, no, it's several factors. I'm like, man, I don't see them trying because I DJ. Like I was DJing at you live in Houston or you live in Texas? Houston. Yeah, so I was at camp. I'm DJing, right. And they like, everybody just separate at their tables, nobody approaching. And I'm like, you can't go home and complain. You didn't take any chances. You didn't take any risks. You didn't shoot any shots.
And that's the thing, bro. A lot of them put so much on it. They be feeling like, okay, I got to have an elevator speech or something like that, especially in an environment like camp, bro. The music loud, all that. So you'll be foolish to try to go up and have a lengthy conversation. But you send a $10 drink over there, $12 drink over there, and just, hey, boom, once you get it, hey, baby, I just wanted to let you know you was gorgeous, baby. Enjoy yourself. Keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? That alone could a lot of times get you the number because they, especially in this area, they so used to dudes buying them drinks and hounding them around the club and trying to force conversations and things of that nature. But again, it's just about being smooth with it. And a lot of dudes just don't know how to be smooth with it because they ain't been outside like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, camp in Houston, especially on a Sunday, if you can't pull nothing in there,
put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Hey, Trill. Don't tell nobody else. So damn, man. See, I lost my train of thought. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So, in terms of as we walk down that road, we starting to eke into a little bit of talking point, right? Mm-hmm. The talking point mafia is they know them talking points like the back of their hands, and depending on the talking point, right? Depending on the conversation, the talking point would make sense, right? Mm-hmm. But as I've been listening, the talking points will contradict themselves, but they're in separate conversations, so you don't hear them at the same time. What talking points should have died in the turn of the year in 2023?
Shit, man. There's so many, dog. The whole accountability piece is one. I see a lot of people talking about demanding accountability when they themselves are not accountable in their own life. And how the hell are you gonna demand something that you can't provide? The whole alpha male, I want my woman barefoot and pregnant, that gotta die because a lot of these guys don't make enough money to be able to afford that type of a lifestyle and to take care of an entire family on their own. The whole 50-50 conversation, that gotta go. Like it man, it's just so many talking points, bro. Dating amount, $200 dates, coffee dates, all of that. I'm just all of it, bro. All of it.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Everything, man. Can you expound on the barefoot in the house, barefoot and pregnant?
Yeah, a lot of guys want just absolute submission from women, and they think that just because they are men, that they deserve absolute submission from women. When in reality, again, being a man alone does not make you a great leader. A lot of times, you may need some help with guiding your own damn life because you are not a leader. You ain't tried and true. You ain't really accomplished nothing. If I pull your resume, it's not that impressive. But you expect a woman to just come in and just bow, just submit, stop, don't work, don't do nothing, take care of me, clean the house, cook, all this, that, and the third. But again, if you can't set up infrastructure to facilitate that, what the hell are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? So I think at the end of the day, guys who have that resume and guys who have proven themselves, accomplished, and if you pull that resume and you get to see a bunch of checked off things, a bunch of things that are finished, those guys don't tend to have trouble with a woman submitting to them at all. But I think a lot of the guys complaining about it are the ones who not really qualified to receive the submission that they asking for. If I'm gonna keep it G.
Damn. Trill, if you don't mind, can you expound on just a few of those qualifications?
Man, bro, like I tell women all the time, bro, like when you dating men, like pay attention to what he's actually finished. It's a lot of dudes will talk to you all day long about things that they want to do, things that they plan to do. Bro, I'm about to go get my certification. Bro, I'm getting ready to finish school. I'm about to go do this. Bro, I'm about to get my own place. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And then you get to looking at the resume, and it's a bunch of incompletes and unfinished on it. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like that type of a guy, like you don't even need to be dating. You need to be focusing, because again, if you ain't set up facility for that woman you can't facilitate or set up structure for that woman to walk into, then you shouldn't be dating in the first place. You should be working on that structure. Now, again, that's not saying that if a great woman comes along in the process of you working toward that structure and she willing to be patient and ride with you and things of that nature until you get there, that right there is a blessing. But you can't be unaccomplished and you can't have no structure and demand submission. So that's my thing. It's simply finishing things. It's not really a amount of money. It's not, because again, I know dudes who millionaires and still live check to check because their expenses are so high. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's about leadership. It's about discipline. It's about structure. Do you showcase those type of things in your life? Because if you do, then the money will tend to come eventually. It may come a little slower than it came for this guy, but it's going to come eventually if you are able to maintain discipline and able to stand on your word and able to do things that you say you're going to do. But unfortunately, a lot of guys can't do those things, but demand submission anyway. And that's why I got the issue at.
Word. Perfect. So in terms of two things you said, I just want to mine it out just a tad bit more. What's the first one I want to go to? So one of the issues seemingly is that we aren't building together, right? And so if he has incompletes, we often, I would say, caution women against potential, So now what seemingly happens is when Drake said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, it's almost like men have to be at the finish line and the women are there waiting, but it seems to be problematic given the divorce rates and such. What do you think?
I would somewhat agree with that. Think, but I think also you don't have to have everything finished, because as men and as humans, I think we constantly evolving. But when I look at the resume, it should be a track record of things getting finished. For example, right? If you got a guy who's aspiring to be like a CFO of a company or something like that, he may not be the CFO when you meet him. He may be entry level, or whatever the case may be. But you look at his resume. Okay, he done graduated school. Okay, he done took an internship. Okay, he done held this job for 3 or 4 years. He not at the CFO level yet, which would be the quote unquote finish line. But when I look at that track record, he's completing things. He's taking actionable steps to get there and not just giving lip service. That's a guy that you can invest in as far as potential. But if you look at that resume and he talk about, I want to be the CFO, and you ain't even went to school yet, or you ain't even got the entry level job yet. But you aspire to be a CFO, but you expect me to entrust my livelihood with you. But when I look at that resume, it's not a lot of completes on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. You don't got to be at the end goal, but I need to see actionable steps towards you getting there, or else how in the hell would you expect me to invest in something like that?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So in terms of, you see the action, you see completes, right? And which means that goal looks to be attainable, right? And it's about somebody just talking. Okay. Tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. What should us men be looking for in these women as we progress? You know, like one of the talking points is this one. You remember this one where as long as she's pretty enough, we don't care about her education. We don't care about her money. And I'm just like, if I get a fry cook, right, from Mickey D's because she's pretty, I'm a fucking idiot. That's what I'm thinking. What's your take on it?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%, man. Like, again, I have a 5-year-old daughter.
Word.
I have no interest in raising a grown woman. I just don't. So I need you to be well on that path. I tell people all the time, if I was single tomorrow, I'd be hell on women. Because the bar be so high, and if you don't qualify for it, I'm not going to even entertain you at all.
Word.
Because again, it's not that I'm judging your pockets, so I need your money or anything like that. Because I don't. My lifestyle is not going to change one way or the other. But I need you to be able to identify with a lot of the trials and tribulations that it took for me to be successful. Because if you can't identify with it, then you would never understand me, and we'll never be able to relate. I can explain it to you, but you ain't went through it yet. So you don't have that, acumen and things of that nature that I can trust my livelihood with you or trust my legacy with you. Because that's how you got to look at it. Like, as a man, when I'm picking my woman, I'm entrusting my legacy with her. I could die tomorrow.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah, God forbid.
But you know what I'm saying? But if I don't have a woman who's capable of grinding, a woman who got work ethic, a woman who knows what it takes to be successful, then my daughter is doomed. My legacy is doomed. She gonna fumble it. You see what I'm saying? So again, when I'm picking a woman, that's the type of stuff that I'm looking at. And a fry cook at the fish spot down the street, no disrespect, because everybody got to start somewhere. But for me and what I'm trying to build and my legacy, you are incapable of taking over the helm if something was to happen to me. And because of that, I can't date you in a serious light like that. And I feel like a lot more men need to go into it with that mindset, or they is just as stupid as you just said they was.
Word.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Shit like that. Obviously, Trill, they've been calling me uncle now, so I guess I'm at a big age, and you only 4 years behind me, so you might be there, right? And I just want to be clear, right? We're saying, like, you said, if we outside now, you hell on women. I just want to clarify in terms of you trying to pick. You're gonna pick the best woman that has the qualification that makes sense for you, not out here just running amok, I assume.
Bingo. I'm coming in with very, very, very high standards, and I'm not budging at all.
Yeah.
So you can either meet them or you don't. If you don't, work yourself to a level, and if I'm still single by the time you get there, then we can revisit it. But it's not gonna be a situation where I'm accepting anything less than what I done worked to be able to qualify for.
Yeah, 100%. So just a spin off on that in terms of, because I know you're heavy handed on them in terms of, obviously building a life with them, Why are men's sexual standards so much lower? I've used these two words, fuck it, because it was getting too late. I had to make a phone call I wasn't looking forward to making, but the one person, the third girl didn't pick up. So I made that phone call that, you regret after that post nut clarity, right? We have that. And I just want to be candid that, we've done that, so why are sexual standards so low? And I've been told that discipline is impossible because it's in our nature. So as long as women putting it out there, we're going to go get it regardless. What you think?
Yeah, man, I think it's because men don't really believe in consequences when it comes to sex until we get hit with them. It's just like anything else. When you're a young dude and you out here moving around, I come from a rough place, you know what I'm saying? But I had a dad in my life, and before I would go outside, he would tell me, like, hey, this is what you got to look forward to. Now, again, us being young, we gonna hear, yeah, I hear you. but I know it. I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it regardless. But I hear what you're saying, but whatever. Yeah. But because of that, a lot of my friends and family end up in jail or end up getting shot, things of that nature. I just got lucky in the process of that. But I think that ties back to what you said. When we out here dealing with these women and it's 3-4 in the morning and we like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna call, Tanya who got the fat ass or whatever. Yeah. We not factoring in, okay, boom, if she get pregnant, like how is this gonna go? You know what I mean? This was the last resort. I don't trust her with my legacy. I don't even really like her for real like that, if we gonna be honest. She serves a purpose, you know what I'm saying? But again, a lot of guys move with a bit of arrogance in that aspect, to where we feel like we can always control the situation until it's out of our control, and then we on these panels crying about child support and crying about how women don't how these women is terrible baby mamas and not letting me see my kid and things of that nature. Now, she had all those traits before you went over there at 4:00 in the morning, but you thought you was arrogant enough, you thought you was
shit like that
to get around them, and now she hitting your ass for $1,500 a month. So again, to answer the question, I think it's arrogance.
Word. So damn, I had two questions off of what you just stated. One is more so the talking point, but my boy Fuego Boss, he a rapper, and he tell me he was pro-life until his ugly joint got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? He a wild boy, man. They heard me tell it a million times, so we often have that, right? Like when the consequences is real, we stand on things until it's time to stand there, right? So when we had that conversation in terms of the sex, I don't know if you were listening when I had the runoff plan, but if I don't put a condom on, the sentiment is that I've been learning is that it's her fault if I don't put a condom on my penis. What you think? Because she bears the most consequences.
Again, that's the accountability piece that I was talking about earlier when you asked me what talking points am I tired of hearing. You got guys who come on these platforms and say, I'm trying to hold women accountable. I'm holding women accountable. But those same guys will get in that situation and then blame the woman for a decision that you had power to avert. But you chose to go in there and do what you wanted to do. Now, again, after that's done, it's out of your hands, right, wrong, or indifferent on the back end. But regardless, you had a chance to avert it. But that's where leadership come in at, right? Me personally, I've never blamed anybody else in my life for anything that's went wrong in which I had a choice in. I don't give a damn how small the choice. I don't give a damn how out of my control it got after I made the choice. If I had any type of way to shift the shit in my favor, then it's my fault. That's what leadership is. But again, a lot of these guys who demand accountability from women are not leaders, because a leader is going to take that to the chin. Sure, she has the right to, or the ability to abort the baby and things of that nature and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But if she chooses not to do that, you got to do what you got to do. You got to step up as a man, because at the end of the day, you could have said, you know what, I'm going to put this condom on, or I shouldn't even be messing with her anyway, because she's not qualified to be with me in a long-term fashion. So I don't have sympathy for that type of thing, because you had a choice in it.
Damn. Like, hit subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So Trill, if you don't mind, let's stay on that path, right? The baby mother, the single baby mother, right? I had a conversation about, and I use hyperbole, right? It's provocative. You have the single mom versus the abortion mom, right? I would argue that the conduct was the same. However, one chose to follow through with the consequence, and we love the kids, but right, it is what it is, right? The consequence of having casual sex, right? Unprotected. The other mom didn't, right? She chose to, have an abortion, which in a lot of states they do have the choice, right? The right to choose if they want to bring the baby forth. And so we talk often about don't date single moms, right? A stepfather's a selfless job, a thankless job, sorry. And it's selfless for all intents and purposes, because that's not your actual seed, right? Kids can go ever which way. What do you think about the whole just heavy hand on the single moms, not dating them, hold them accountable for having the children, etc.? And then just give me your spiel on that. And then also, I want to ask you the question: if the child, because there's a lot of well, go ahead. What you think just about the overall single mom? And then I'll give you the second part. Children that come from single mother-led homes, right, generally have they lead where poor outcomes exist. So like jail, IEPs, etc. Who's the onus on? The father who's not there, or the mother who raised the child? But I could have kind of saved that part. You know what I mean? But that's like a two-part thing.
Yeah, I mean, in that scenario, as far as the dating single mothers and things of that nature, again, it's somebody for everybody. There are because how I look at it, like, it's a preference thing. Like, I can't get up here and tell a grown man, hey, don't ever date no single mother, because that man may mess with that woman and they may have a system that works for them, or that man may be bringing in kids of his own. So it's like, how can I don't believe in being hypocritical. Just like, for instance, me, when I didn't have a kid, I was hard pressed against that. I'm never dating women with kids. That's just not my thing. I want my kid to be mine, my first kid to be mine, and that's just that. And I don't feel like it was no or whatever. Like, that's my preference. If you take that personally, then that's on you. You see what I'm saying? But now that I got a kid, if I was single, I wouldn't be as hard pressed against it, because I'm bringing in a kid, and in reality, you're gonna be able to identify with what I'm going through more than a woman who didn't have a kid, who's gonna expect to come in there and be first priority. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, you're not. You're gonna be second priority to my daughter until you prove worthy, and then we get married, and then things are, you know what I'm saying, we can move from there. So again, I think it's a preference thing. It's kind of hard to attack that with a broad brush, but in terms of, guys being hard on single mothers and things of that nature, like bashing them and things of that, like, I don't really believe in that. Based on what you just said, it's some women who could have been in that situation, but it just, they end up getting rid of it, or they got lucky. And there's plenty of guys who could have been in that situation, but they just got lucky, because again, just like you just said, 3-4 a.m. after the club, I'm going over there, I'm not strapping up. It is what it is. But just because you was able to duck out of that situation and avoid the praises, that don't make that you on no higher moral ground. You just got lucky. It could have easily been you. And then what was the last one you asked again?
No, 100%. So just in terms of, she gets pregnant, the child grows up and has poor results, right? That child represents in a lot of the negative stats, right? Who's the onus on? The father who's not there, or the mother who raised it? Who's the onus on more? I know. I think they're implicated, right? But just for the sake of the conversation, to push it forward, who's implicated more?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go, because, man, that question's so layered, because it depends on how this thing came about. But just, let's say everything came out on the up and up. She got pregnant, whatever. He disappeared, and then the baby turns out bad. I mean, in my opinion, that's on a man. If a man has a child, like, I couldn't imagine not being in my daughter's life. Period. You see what I'm saying? And then you got a lot of guys who'll say, well, hey, she making it hard for me to see my kid and things of that nature, because, our relationship didn't work or whatever. And there are a lot of women like that. But in my opinion, like, I done work myself into a position where I have her ass in court every week if it's necessary. But you're gonna allow me to see my kid, like, and I'm gonna have an active role in raising my kid, or I'm gonna just bleed you dry in court until you're forced to do so. So again, it's just about, like, wanting and trying to be an active dad. Like, it's a lot of dudes out here who are way too comfortable with kids walking around that you're not in their life, and that's something that I just can't wrap my head around. Regardless of how I feel about the mother, it's still ways for you to be there. I don't give a damn if we got to have an intermediary to negotiate the pickups and drop-offs, or however it got to be, or if I got to show up with police to come get her. We gonna do what we got to do. But I'm not gonna be able to just go about my life. You know what, man? My old lady making it hard. That's on her, man. Whatever happened with the kid, that's on her. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Boom. Me as a grown man, as a leader, that's just not how I'm cut. Just like we was talking about football earlier. The fact is that as a man in relationships, you are the leader, which means you got to take accountability when things go wrong. I can't be the head coach of a situation and we go out there and get our ass whooped, and then I go in front of the press podium and be like, hey, man, I coached my ass off. But the players didn't do what the hell they were supposed to be doing. Receivers out there dropping the ball, running back fumbling. You understand me? Hey, I coached a hell of a game. You know what I'm saying? We lost, but hey, it's on them. It ain't on me. You can't be no leader and do that, bro. Like if you lose or if something go wrong under your watch as a leader, hey, it's on me. Yeah, regardless. Anything else I can't understand. So if I got a kid out here that's doing bad or that done got in trouble or whatever, that's a direct representation of my leadership or lack thereof. That's how I see it.
And so one of the follow-ups, right, just in terms of the pushback that, like, let's say people were up here, it would be, how can you blame the person that's not there?
Because you're not there. It's simple as that. Because at the end of the day, like we are aware of these statistics. Because that, like, even before this little YouTube space and all of this stuff, a lot of us grew up in neighborhoods and grew up around homeboys who didn't have dads in their lives. A lot of us didn't have dads in our lives. And then we go out and repeat the same thing, knowing the outcomes of that. For example, me on my mama's side of the family, I got a lot of male cousins over there. And 95% of them have went to jail. And guess what the common denominator is in those 95% going to jail? Right? So it would be foolish of me to go out here knowing that fate is what the dad not being in the home is what led to them going to jail, because they didn't have no structure. Even when I was out moving around doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing, I still had my daddy voice in the back of my head, like, hey, you can do that, but if you do, this is the consequence. Are you ready to go sit down for 20? Or are you ready to go lay up in that hospital and have to rehab for 6 months if you even lucky enough to make? Or are you ready for these things? If you are, go do what you want to do. You're grown. You know what I'm saying? So again, but having that right there kept me out of a lot of situations, or kept me from going too far with a lot of situations. But if I didn't have that, I would have ended up just like my cousin did. You see what I'm saying? So again, a lot of us grow up in situations and grow up in environments to where we've seen the direct effect of a dad not being in the home. So it's baffling to me how you can go outside and repeat the same fucking thing.
Word. And what you're saying seemingly aligns with your initial sentiment, right? When you're saying, hey, I have to make a decision. If I go raw, I need to understand the implications, right? So at that juncture, I need to understand the flags. But instead, she looked like a barilla in the face, but she got a fat ass. So I'm ignoring all flags to do what I got to do. And then we wonder why these are the end results.
Again, bro, it's no different than being in the street. When you sign up to be in the street, you know what you're signing up for. It's a high possibility you're going to jail. It's a high possibility you're going to get robbed. You're going to get shot. It's going to be violence. So when you get into this life, you say, you know what? I understand all of these things, but I'm going to do it anyway. Don't matter that I seen my uncle go to jail for 20 for shooting somebody. It don't matter that my cousin doing 30 for selling whatever he was selling. I feel like I'm different. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do it my way. But when you make that decision, and again, when you out there, something could go wrong and it don't be your fault. You got dudes who sit in jail right now because somebody told on them. You know what I'm saying? But when you signed up for that, you can't say, hey, man, I'm sitting in jail for 30, man, because they told on me. No, you sitting in jail for 30 because you chose to go into the street anyway. You should have stayed your ass on the porch if you couldn't handle the 30. It's the same thing with that. If you can't handle the outcome, negative or good, that come from it, stay your ass away from it or exercise some more discipline. You had a choice. Just like we said earlier, you could have strapped up, you could have not went over there, or you could have dealt with a woman who you wouldn't have minded having a kid with and being with forever. But you didn't take none of those options. You wanted to do it your way. Good luck with that.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
God damn. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Hey, that is real. Everybody think it ain't gonna be them. You know, even when cats is going to war, they think it ain't gonna be me. You know, like real, like outside, really getting it popping. You know, and you know one thing in terms of that, right? Just because you alluded to it, right? When you're young, you know you think you Superman. And speaking of the panels. You know, we all, you know, when we on a panel, we all got our drawers on the outside of our pants. You know what I mean? We all superheroes, right? It's never us, right? Which I think is just problematic in itself, you know.
Right.
But when we talk about leaders, that was just I just wanted to share that, you know. But
Right.
in terms of, you know, just going back to the leaders and in these relationships and etc., and how men often, because we say that men face our consequences each and every day, right? We are accountable because the society holds us accountable, you know. When we fall, stop crying, get up, find a solution. The games in which we play have a winner, you know. Playing house don't have a winner. Having fake tea parties don't have a winner, but we play the games that we get our consequences, you know. So I'm thinking, to your point, that ideology should stand true in all aspects, right? But when we get to that part, when it comes to sex, because it's our nature, you know, now it kind of, the ideology view, you know, like kind of veers off a little bit. You know, do you think most men are leaders?
No. I think leaders are made. They're not born. You gotta go through shit to have the wherewithal and even the bravery to be able to deal with making a decision. You got a lot of dudes out here who's scared to even make a decision in terms of when things get tough or when things get hard or whatever the case may be. And it's just, again, you made a leader through fire. You made a leader based on what you overcame. It's kind of similar to that resume that we was talking about earlier. You know what I'm saying? Most guys that are successful, they went through hell to be successful. They didn't just get it handed to them, you know, or whatever the case may be. Like, they had to go through some grueling shit, or even if it did get handed to them, they went through hell to maintain it. Because we all know a lot of dudes, even in the street, who have money or whatever the case may be, and then we look at them now and they are a shell of themselves. It's like, damn, bro, you used to be that in the hood, man. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot.
School, you were the man, homie, right? My bad. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it takes a level of discipline. It takes a level of, you know, failing and falling and bumping your head and getting back up and learning from it and not repeating the same mistakes and things of that nature. It takes a lot of that for you to be able to walk around and beat your chest and say, I'm a leader. But you can't walk around beating your chest and say, I'm a leader, when you ain't accomplished shit. Like what have you accomplished? Which goes back to what we was talking about earlier. When I look at that resume, is it going to be a lot of check marks on it, or is it going to be a lot of incompletes? If it's a lot of incompletes, then you can't walk around beating your chest saying I'm a leader just because you're a man. You are not.
Yeah.
It's about leading people. It's about, like, who have you helped? Who have you put on? A lot of these guys be bragging about money they make or whatever the case may be. Yeah, you making money and everybody around you broke. Yeah. You a horrible leader. Because if you was the leader you supposed to be, they shouldn't have. They maybe not have as much money as you, but everybody should be straight. Or everybody should be given opportunities. But who have you helped? Who have you put on? Who are you taking care of? Who have you led?
Yeah. No, real shit.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
And you know, on that point, right? Again, I'm just giving you the arguments that you may hear, right? In terms of devil advocate or pushback. The pushback is, you know, in terms of leading our women, you know, I generally think that, you know, black people should be together, you know, in terms of relationship, just my sentiment. Our women don't want to be led. Can you lead someone that doesn't want to be led is the overarching sentiment. So even if we are good leaders, they don't want to be led. So it's a moot point. What you think?
Again, I think with issues like that, we got to start at the root. Why is she so uncomfortable being led by a man? More times than not, because she's never seen a great leader that was a man. Yeah. Just like these same guys will go on there and give advice and say, hey, man, date women who had their dad in the home. Why is that? It's because she's going to respect leadership more because she's seen it. She's seen a guy who was busting his ass and accomplished and who was able to create structure for her family to survive and to thrive on. So when I get outside and I'm finding a man, I'm going to be way more willing to follow a lead, right? But if I grew up and the dad wasn't in the home and I'm seeing my mama struggle and I'm seeing my mama take care of men who are unworthy of, you know what I'm saying, being in the household, period. When I get outside, I'm going to have a lack of trust for male leadership because I've never seen a great leader. So again, it starts with us being in the homes more. We got to provide the example to a woman that we want them to follow. But if she's never seen an example, how can you blame her for being uncomfortable following a male lead? So again, it all ties back to the leader in society, which is the men. But we don't want to take accountability with that. And I think that's why we keep going in circles.
Damn. Okay. One of the last things you would hear is, but it's the moms raising them. You know? So more so, well, I guess you kind of answer that. They saw their mom taking care of men, etc. So why wouldn't they have that same similar mindset and perpetuate it and not have that belief in men?
Right, because you know, my mama did it and I turned out all right. Mind you, she traumatized as hell, but she don't know no better, right? Because her mama was traumatized. But trauma is normal. This is the circumstances that we grew up in. So that's why a lot of women, if we're gonna keep it honest, they gotta lose a good man to learn how to take care of one. For that very reason, right? Because say for instance, me coming into a life, or a man who healed, or a man who's actually capable of leading, you're right. Yeah. We not gonna have patience with that. Why? Because we already know it ain't no time for that. If I gotta spend half the relationship building trust or building your self-esteem up to where it need to be, then that's time spent for us not progressing and us not building legacy that we need to be building. And that's why I tell women, you got to go do that healing on your own time. Because again, a lot of us come from traumatic situations, but unfortunately in our environment, therapy is kind of taboo. Counseling is kind of taboo. So what that mean? That mean we go from relationship to relationship depending on that person to fix us. But that is a losing battle. It's never going to work. All your relationships are going to end the same way, because the problem is not those people's incapability of fixing you. It's the work that you're not doing. Now, again, I'm not blaming you for being in the situation. I'm blaming you for staying in it. And that's what a lot of us, you know, do, and then, you know, wonder why we get the same outcomes that we get or whatever. But yeah, a lot of us come from traumatic situations. I did. Like I said, half my family was in jail. That doesn't mean that that's going to be my outcome. Why? Because I wanted more. I did the work to fix myself and establish myself and lead a block and all of that. First one on the block to graduate. First one on the, you know what I'm saying, from the block to make 6 figures. All that. But I had to go bump my head 100 times to learn. So again, it's about how bad do you want it? How bad are you willing to change your circumstances? The circumstances that we was put in, a lot of times it's not our fault. But again, staying there or staying with that mindset is. And if you choose to do that, then you got to take what come with it.
Yeah. Word. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Trill, man, you've been awesome, B. Like, you know,
appreciate it.
I humbly appreciate you. I have to ask you this typical question. Then I'm gonna check the back chat when you get a chance, and I'm gonna read the super chats. We may have some questions in there too.
Cool.
I gotta ask you this generic old ass question. Does body count matter?
Brother.
Body count matters if that man is privy to it. But that's where my issue comes in with it. More times than not, he's not gonna be privy to it. Because a lot of the girls that these dudes be thinking is safe and, you know, homebodies, and she would never do nothing like that, and she come from a good background and things of that nature. A lot of them be having the most bodies. And you know why a lot of these dudes don't know? It's because they ain't never went to college. Right? Freshman year of college. let me explain something to you about freshman year. You already know, that's why you're shaking your head.
Hey,
freshman year of college.
This right here.
Oh yeah, motherfucker.
Hey. Straight up and down. So again, if she's wearing it on her sleeve, or if he grew up in an environment to where like he's privy to, you know, the guy said, oh yeah, bro, everybody done ran through that, then it matters. But you know, at this big ass age of 34, you would be delusional to believe that you're gonna run into a woman who has 2 bodies or 3 bodies. That's just not reality. So again, if you're making a decision based on that, you're making a decision based on information that you'll never truly have for real. So it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. I had this one problematic situation, Trill. I gotta ask it to you, man. Just because you know, when you answering, regardless of who agrees, you understand what it is you saying. You're not tiptoeing through it. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of that trying to be right when, as opposed to you just saying what it is that you think about the topic. You know what I mean? I'm just asking. You with this girl for a year, right? It's hypothetical, of course. Your man been locked down for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this your man. He come home, you pick him up. Like that's how close y'all are. Right. So you know you're about to go get a drink or whatever. You say, "Oh, I gotta go give Shorty X, Y, and Z real quick." So boom, you meet her real quick and give her what you gotta give her. You get back in the car. You're like, "Yo, you remember when I used to go to Spring? And there was this girl I used to pick up and put down, and I used to tell you what she used to do X, Y, Z."
Right.
That's her.
Hey, if y'all know nothing about Houston, man, Spring is on the north side. That's a strong 45-minute drive from where everybody be at Tivoli. So bro has something tucked off that nobody seen. So that make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But to answer the question,
you know how it be. He may not tell you a name, like, "Yo, I just came from Spring. She done blew my socks off again." You like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Look here, man. I got a strict policy against that, gang. If any one of my guys done hit, it's over with. Simple and plain. It just is what it is.
Shit like that.
And all that's fine and good. But if you've been paying attention to me like you should be, you would know that's my homie. So that means that you done kept this from me for a year. So nah, that's over with. But just based on him hitting, it's done. Yeah, simple and plain. That's just how my moral code is set up. And I would never hit none of my guys' girls either. That's not how I'm cut.
And in the hypothetical, there was nothing shiesty. You know, just one of them things. Right? He been gone for 2 years, so you know,
right.
All intents and purposes, you know, you know, he told you first, right? Because you got back in the car with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, no, I think that's fair, man.
Yeah, man, over with. Good luck, baby. Good luck.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Trill, if you got a few minutes, you want me to drop this link, see if they got any questions for you?
Sure. Pop out.
I'm gonna read the supers. We may have some questions in there as well. We got my brother Quentin already. Marcus with the $5 says, "Yo, bro, we got the GOAT Trill from Crew Season in the building."
My dog, what up, bro?
My brother. Word. Yeah, he's been on tour and all that.
Going crazy, bro.
Indeed, man. Hey, what those Averex jackets you had?
Well, one of them was, and then I had some starters in there. I had I'm all over the place with pro standards in there. I'm all over the place with it, G.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just grab that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, real shit. That shit. Cause I was following at first. I said, "Damn!" And I'm looking at the cities. I said, "Okay, I see what he did there." You know what I mean? And I said, "Damn! I think that's an Averex. That's a jacket you get shot over." Word, man. Niggas is wild back then. Black King, salute my brother with the super sticker. My bad, Trill. What you say?
Oh no, I'm good. Go ahead, G. I ain't say nothing.
So Solid with the $2 says, "Trill plus hemp, real spill." Indeed, my brother. He said, "Talk your shit, bro."
Shit like that.
My brother Love Doobie and been a member for 2 months. Let me drop this link while I'm reading these chats if I didn't already. Let me just make sure. Step and Whoop, salute. And member for 6 months. I appreciate you, my brother. Mo List with the $2 says, What are the
leaves in the chat? That's Crew Season stuff, man. Leaves in the chat, man.
Salute. Lauren Mack with the $5 says, "They're brothers!" Exclamation mark. They're happy. Oh, Lauren, go to sleep, yo. God damn. Hey man, listen. I hope you get a flat tire in your driveway tomorrow before work, man. Shell Shock with the $5 says, "Salute him and the General Trill AC." What it do, chat? What's up? My brother, hope all is well. Eli with the $5 says, "Salute, appreciate you." Cree coming to 1,000 members, Trill. I'm getting close. Appreciate you, Cree.
What up, buzzing, birds flipping dozen. Holla at your boy, you thought your cousin was.
Welcome to the family. All 10 of y'all, whoever got it, please maintain it. Ricky with the $5 says, download the Crew Season app for iOS and Android. That's a fact. And Uncle Rick dropped the indeed. So the description, I got Trill's links in the description, and the moderators also been dropping them in the chat. So make sure y'all download the app, follow Trill on IG and all that. You heard? Jack, what's popping? With the $5 says, I'm still waiting on Trill to reread my super chats in the correct order. Just saying, he did read them out of order. How is it my fault they didn't make sense? Shaking.
Hey man, you know how they be coming across, dog. That's my bad. I remember that too.
Jack crazy as hell, man.
So,
Jack with the 5 said, then you go and say, quote unquote, how you gonna ask for something you don't have? That was literally the super chat you didn't reread in the correct order, Trill.
Shit like that.
Salute to Jack, man. Jack with the $2 says, I get no love in these YouTube streets. Shout out to Trill.
my dog.
Jack with the $2. I still live under a bridge, Trill. Let me hold 10. Wow, this shit. Sexy Red was popping. Eli with the $10 says, Trill 100%. Right. It's no exceptions why we aren't in our children's lives, especially if we lay down with her. Then we have to take accountability. I am learning. Mm-hmm. Uncle Rick with the $2 says, it's never the people on the panel. See, this Palace with the $5 says, Trill, if a woman has sex with a man who she knows is not a leader, whose fault is it? What if she does this 60 more times? Is it still on the guy?
Again, it's about, like, if she having sex with these guys and ain't no baby, then yeah, whatever the consequences is on her. But if a man gets her pregnant, which means that he has a seed walking around here, it is his responsibility to take care of his seed. Period. It doesn't matter what her moral code is, how she set up, whatever the case may be. I have a child walking around here, and there's no valid reason for me to not be in my child's life. So that's my take on that.
Word. HQ with the $5 says, black women don't respect black men. That's why they won't follow. What now?
Again, if you are the man that you claim to be, then you'll have no issue getting respect from black women. In general. Now, don't get me wrong, there's gonna be some outliers who just don't respect men at all, right? But what are those type of women doing in your vicinity? Right. And again, I feel like that's a loud minority. I feel like most black women are regular women, right? They going to work every day. They're looking for a good man, somebody that's compatible with them, somebody that they can respect their leadership, somebody that's accomplished and things of that nature. So again, if you are what you claim to be, and a lot of us go around beating our chest, I'm a leader this, I'm a leader that, I got this, I got that. If you're the leader that you claim to be, you will have no problem getting respect from most black women. That's how I feel.
Word. Shit like that.
Don Kid, Shalom. Garrett with the 20 ball. Shout out to the Texas players. I gotta play this for the first 20 ball of the evening. Kenzie with the $5 says, lovers of men, Ali, Mr. Fantastic, Team Fatty, Red Pill, they stick up for men so much with no accountability. Aaron with the $2 says, Crew Season is how I got to the space. No doubt, my brother. Matt P with the $2. What's poppin'? Matt says, Trill, a married nigga told y'all we winning. Real love was that nigga Trill swear he a rapper for real, for real.
My dog, Real, what up, baby?
Nigga stay making Port Authority proud. Indeed. TMBR Army and the Crusaders. Love to the bros. Appreciate you, Rilla. Love you, man. I gotta play this one for my brother Rilla. Where's that? There you go.
Come on, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money. Bullshit. I see you shining, nigga. I can smell a motherfucker with money. Even Ray Charles can see you got money.
That's my brother right there, man.
Indeed, 100%, man. That's the OG. Ken Folk was popping with the $5. Says Red Pill Ranger is a drag queen with his wig skit. Shout out to Hamp and Trill.
Who is a Red Pill Ranger?
He a content creator. He be showing wild love. He might hit the link. He usually does.
Oh shit.
Red Pill told me he's him, man. Bread and Butter with the $5 says Trill wasn't excusing women behavior. He simply stated they grew up in the same fatherless home as men, so naturally lack awareness of worthy men. Yeah. Quentin with the $5 says Hemp, if they come up with disrespect, I'm pulling up with smoke. Respectfully, do your thing. I'm turning on that. Hey, I'm gonna turn on the kickoff. So Trill, I'll let you know. Obviously, me or you can't be kicked off, but they can definitely kick off whoever else come up here. Mo with the $2. Trill, when a new episode of the pod dropping?
Look here, man. We should be what's the day? What, Tuesday? Wednesday?
Yeah,
Tuesday,
yeah.
Thursday. We're gonna drop it on the app, man. Everybody that been asking on YouTube when the episode's dropping, man, make sure y'all subscribe to the app. All episodes is dropping on there. We got a few celebrity interviews and stuff like that we're gonna start rolling out here pretty soon. So make sure that y'all tap into that Crew Season app, Apple, Android, Fire Stick TV, Apple TV, Roku, everywhere. Make sure y'all tap in.
Shit like that.
Keep dropping that link, man. Keep dropping the link. See, this pals with the 50 ball. He says, hold on. Married women with only one partner. The odds of women cheating on her husband is 6 times higher with 2 to 4 partners, 9.47 times higher with 5 to 10 partners, 14.05 times higher with 11 to 20 partners, 16 times higher with 20 partners. GSS. Let me play this real quick as we consume this information. Which one I want? Let me see. There.
Other outside is human. She turn up her location. She must think I'm stupid. She wanna run the street, so let her ho. She doesn't show signs of stopping. So who am I to be cock blocking? I really hate to see you go. Let her ho.
What you think about these numbers, Trill? I think he was talking about the body count thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising at all. I think, the more access you get to everything that's going on, the less indecisive that it makes you. I think that's part of the issue with society. Is social media done exposed people to so many options that they got option fatigue, and it's kind of hard to settle, and it's kind of hard because people 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to make sure I pick the right person. And you got a lot of people who enter into relationships still not sure of that. So again, if you don't have a lot of people, a lot of different experiences, then of course you're gonna be more curious. I think that's just psychology.
Yeah, 100%. Lauren with the toss says, Hamp, say Port Arthur again. What I say? I said it, didn't I?
You said it right. The first time you said it wrong, man. Port Arthur, the hood, man. Shout out to Port Arthur. That's where I'm from originally.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't be knowing all that because I just moved down here, so I'm still getting acclimated. You know what I mean?
Right. For sure. Yeah. That's where Pimp C from.
Okay. God bless the dead.
For sure.